All right, cool. Well, yeah, thank you so much for doing this today, Chief Moore. Would you mind just starting by introducing yourself and telling us your official title around here?
My name is David Moore. I'm the fire chief of the town of Winterville Fire Rescue and EMS Department.
And would you mind just spelling your name, just so we have it?
Davidmoore.
Yeah, great. So I was asking you earlier, I know you don't always love to be on camera. What was it about this that made you feel like it was worth your time?
Well, it's a cutting edge project. Sometimes we're very reactive in the fire service, and this is a proactive project to help us with our communications and dispatching and notification.
Yeah, great. And how does it help you with your dispatch and notification?
So we're alerted currently by UHF pagers, and there's other technology out there, but paging is by far the quickest. It's instant notification, and so this project, it maintains that instant notification, but it's also building in reliability that we don't always have with paging. So it's a good project.
Yeah, how is it more reliable than the other systems you have?
So our paging systems, all paging systems work off of towers that the signals are transmitted through, and you always have trouble with different types of buildings and different locations with penetration, in-building signal strength, and this is a much more robust signal. The coverage is already in place from the tower system, so that brings in a degree of reliability for us that we hadn't always seen in the past.
Yeah, great. Get another sheet of paper here. Some of this might feel a little redundant, but
That's
there's
all right.
a few versions of things. You're doing great. Do you like this new paging tech you've been testing, and if so, why?
Yeah, again, the reliability is huge for us. I mean, we're all about function, so having that reliability that we can count on and trust is huge.
Yeah, great. And I think you said you weren't quite able to say yet, but is this new paging tech faster than what you've had before?
I don't know that it's faster, but it's more reliable. The UHF system that we have now, just like in VHF systems, I mean they're instant. Probably a millisecond delay, but the signal and the ability to have that reliability is huge, and have that coverage and in-building penetration. That's just huge. As we have, our building methods have evolved over the last several decades. Everyone's striving for energy efficiency, and as you build buildings out of concrete block, you've got energy efficient glass. It makes signal penetration much more difficult. So we have to look at a lot of things from a fire code perspective, from an operational perspective, to get those signals into the buildings. And our paging and our notification, that's one piece of it. It's probably going to evolve into data also over time, which could really be huge as things evolve. So.
Yeah, great, thank you. Setting this new tech aside for a moment, why is time such an important factor when you're responding to an emergency?
Well, everything we look at revolves around turnout times and response times overall. The sooner we can get to an emergency, the sooner we can mitigate it, whether it's a medical emergency or a fire or technical rescue or something like that. The sooner we can get on scene, the sooner we can help folks. And so the notification is obviously a big piece of that. So as soon as we can get notified and turn out and get out of the station, the sooner we can get to the call.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I'm imagining somebody uninformed and cynical at home might say, well, what's 30 seconds?
Right.
What's the difference?
So what we would tell folks is hold your breath and look at your watch and tell us, decide how soon you want us to arrive.
So at that moment, every second counts.
Absolutely, definitely.
Yeah, would you mind just telling me again how you find this new paging tech more dependable?
Well, again, it's all about coverage and signal strength. We build out paging systems and radio systems, and we put towers in place to cover the areas that need coverage. And this is a system that is already in place with very dependable coverage, in-building coverage. You've never been anywhere in the state that you didn't have this signal. It's kind of taken for granted as long as I can remember.
Yeah, great. And have you noticed a difference between this new tech and the older paging systems you were using?
I don't know if that's a good question.
Fair enough.
Because I don't have it in my hand yet. We've played with it and demoed it with the folks, but we're just moving into the testing phase to do some beta testing. So probably a month from now, I could answer that pretty well.
Yeah. Maybe a better question is, what improvements or enhancements over those current systems are you hopeful for?
I think the reliability and the penetration, especially in buildings. We rely on paging technology. If we're asleep, if we're inside the station, if we're at one call and we're inside a business or home, we're relying on those pagers to alert us. So if we've got that signal and it's 100% reliable, then that's better for us.
And you feel this upcoming tech will really make it that reliable?
I think so. The signal, the reliability, the in-building penetration appears to be much better than what we've seen in the past.
Yeah, great. Do you think it's possible this new paging tech could help you to save more lives, and if so, how?
Yeah, I mean that instant notification and that reliable instant notification is very important. If we miss a call or we have to call back to 911 and find out information or whatever, that takes seconds. It doesn't seem like long, but it does delay response. So the more reliable that communication is, the first time, you're closing that communication loop and you go to work. So.
And how does that affect people on the other end who have called in the emergency?
Well, seconds matter. That's why we arrange fire stations, in every community. You don't go over a certain distance without being close to a fire station, because we do worry about those response times. Whether it's a house fire, whether it's a medical emergency, seconds do matter. So.
Yeah, excellent. How does it feel, just on a personal note, if you don't mind my asking, like to not make it to a call as quickly as you'd like, if you've ever had an experience like that?
Well, we rely heavily on our response times. Most departments are facing staffing shortages. We never have the staff that we need. So the bigger the fire gets, the more personnel we need to mitigate the emergency. So we rely on those response times to hopefully get there before it becomes, detrimental. So our response times is kind of what we base our model on, at least in our community, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Much easier to deal with a small emergency than a bigger emergency.
Yeah.
From a staffing standpoint.
So we had door slams.
We'll be in the back.
Yeah, I think it's far enough under, but just
Cool.
so you know.
Let's do our best. Yeah, appreciate it.
And it was on the
okay. Yeah, I heard it. Yeah, I appreciate it. Do you ever look back on a day when you were able to go out and save people's lives, and what does that feel like?
It feels good. That's why most people become firefighters or paramedics, to help people. You know, we strive to save property, but our ultimate goal is to, you know, protect life. So,
Yeah. And just once again, why do you think it's important to be upgrading the tech in this way? What do you stand to gain by testing out this new tech?
well, I think initially, you know, as it develops, that reliable notification is critical. I think over time it'll probably also turn into data, which, you know, everything is evolving. We rely more and more on technology, and most of that's driven by transmitting data and receiving data. So that'll also be huge.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that was great. David, Daniel, any thoughts? Do you feel like we got our name twice? Any other questions you want to ask?
Well, one thing was, you know, you talked a lot about. No, you stay there. Okay. You talked a lot about what happens when once you get the call from 911.
Mm-hmm.
But our understanding is that this tech also plays a role from 911 to you all. So,
Right.
Right. So can you talk about that process? I know it's upstream from you a little bit, but how it plays into that part.
Well, they transmit the alarm to us. They give us a voice page. You know, they dispatch by tone, which alerts our pager, and then they give us a voice transmission that gives us the dispatch information, location, nature of the emergency, cross streets, location of fire hydrants, all those things. So if we get that the first time without having to ask questions, you know, and get it repeated and whatnot, that's where the reliability comes in for us, as well as, you know, where we are in the community, because different places have different challenges signal-wise, and so that's kind of twofold.
So our understanding is that I think that we've been using the word faster because, and you're using it as reliable, but I think we're saying the same thing, where like they get it to you faster, which makes it more reliable, so you don't have to go back and forth and like, fact check it so much, right? Like,
Right, and if you think of it, if you hear a radio transmission and it's broken and garbled, to us that's not reliable. You know, if we can hear it crystal clear, reliable signal the first time, it just speeds up that whole communication process. It's just like if you're talking to somebody and you can't hear them and you have to get it repeated, it just delays things, if that makes sense. So.
yeah, and I guess the final question just is that, like, as a firefighter and as a department, you train so much on what to do when you show up
Right.
at an emergency. How important is it to train for what you do before you show up and like how your systems are all in place?
Oh, very much so. So, you know, we can educate people and train, and we can also engineer things into the system to help out. And that's where the technology comes in. We build those things into the system that are reliable and redundant, and it kind of takes the guesswork out on the front end. And a lot of times we take those things for granted, just, you know, we expect them to work, but a lot of thought, a lot of planning has to go in to make sure that they work, and this is where that fits in.
Maybe ask him if he's comfortable reading those lines that you had, like verbatim. Close enough.
Sure.
If he's comfortable with it.
Yeah, is that okay with you, Chief Moore, to
Fine-
conclude
fine
just
with
by,
me.
by feeding you some words? And by all means, if it doesn't feel like a true thing I'm asking you to say, please challenge me on that.
Okay.
Want this to be true to your point of view. And you know, you can paraphrase, this new tech is wonderful and more dependable than current systems.
I think the technology is more dependable and more reliable than what we've used in the past.
Yeah, perfect. Maybe just you want to tell me that one more time, something along those lines?
I think the new technology is more dependable and more reliable than what we've used in the past.
Yeah, great. Again, shift this to how it feels natural to you to say, but my job as a fire chief is about saving lives, and this tech will help me do just that.
My job as fire chief is to plan our systems to help us save lives, and one way we do that is through engineering and technology, and that's what this technology does. It builds in reliability in our notification process and our communication process.
Yeah, fantastic. Can you share that idea with me one more time, maybe a little shorter and sweeter?
So my job as fire chief is to plan our systems and engineer our systems to create reliability and improve our response times, and that's what this does.
Yeah, perfect. One more that we might have Mr. Hodges say, but it's great to hear you say too, just that in an emergency, every second counts.
In an emergency, every second counts.
One more time?
In an emergency, every second counts.
I got one more. Sorry, I just
Please.
thought of it.
Mhm.
So maybe like something like this. Like on a good day, we don't have to make any calls, but when we have to make a call, we want the most reliable, robust systems available to us.
All right, so on a good day, we don't have any calls. There's no emergencies. But on any given day, say that one more time.
You're right. On a good day, we don't have to make any emergency calls, but when that happens and we have to make a call, we want the most reliable systems available.
Okay. So on a good day, we don't respond to any emergencies in the community. But on any given day, when we do respond, we want the most reliable and quickest response that we can have. Yeah.
That's good. Perfect.
Aren't y'all supposed to have a little thing where you
Yeah.
slap it and take
A little
two?
slate, yeah, cut your hands.
Yeah, we didn't slate. Yeah.
Isaac, there's one more thing to get 30 seconds of booty time.
Oh, great idea.
Line Army 3, I've got a question. Is the difference between the old system and the new system, the old system, you get all your information through somebody talking and telling you the address, what's happening, that sort of thing, and you've got to listen, and the radio communication has to be not breaking up. And does the new system just send you text and you've got it right away?
So I would say the system, the end result is the same initially with the technology.
Here, you can talk to him.
Yeah,
Just
okay.
so
Oh,
the-
okay. So we might need to go through this before we actually answer, because I make sure I'm answering your question. The systems do the same thing. You get that voice page. The difference is the reliability and the quality of the communication, if that makes sense.
Yeah, thank you, Glenn.
Is that?
Clarify what you're
That
looking
was
for?
it.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, because we're getting a voice page now.
Mm-hmm.
With when this comes to market, we'll still get a voice page, but it'll be a better quality. That's kind of where it's at. Now I think it's going to turn into other things as far as the data and stuff, but I don't know if I'm tech enough to talk about that.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, you mind if I do the work thing?
No, go ahead.
So, for this next part, we're just going to do 30 seconds of silence so we capture the room tone. And it's a moment of meditation, a moment of pondering, thinking what we had for breakfast or what we haven't had for breakfast. I'm just going to block the camera. Yep. And,
New clip or same clip?
sure, we can do a new clip. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there
Pull
you
it
go.
down? Okay, cool.
Okay, new clip.
You got your own style of
All
shooting
right,
off.
I'm rolling for room tone.
All right. Starting now.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you. I heard that.
Okay, great. Good plan.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, Chief Moore, it looks like you're already doing it, but you can go ahead and let your focus just be with the pager. Just pretend we're
Okay.
not here, and just explore using it.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. No messages. Testing 1, 2, 3.
How's the audio, sir? Is that good for you? Thank you. Thank you.
Anytime.
No messages. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. There are 0 unread messages. Testing 1, 2, 3. No messages.
I think that should be good. Yeah, great. Thank you.
Okay, that was great. Anytime.
No messages. There are 0 unread messages. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Maybe one more, just where we kind of get his head and shoulders from
Anytime.
No messages. There are 0 unread messages.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll start talking on this one. Isaac asked me to sub in for a little bit. We're just going to do a little bit of a series and try to,
Sound file nats.
so just as if you all are just, coming together for the day and you're going to share, remind me of your name?
Spencer.
Spencer.
Yep.
Chief Moore talks to Spencer and y'all are meeting up. You want to show Spencer kind of like how the technology works and so on. So maybe we could start like you have it in your clip or
Okay.
belt or something in your pocket. And when we say we're ready, when we say action, then you go ahead and just kind of take it out and start showing it. We'll be moving the camera around.
All right.
Let me know when you're all- All right. Action. Cool. Let's try that again. And now, like Chief Moore, you're talking to Spencer. If you put it back in your clip.
Okay.
What was it? Oh, on the truck.
On the truck.
You don't see it? You're good?
Probably sounds
Okay. So before taking it right out, why don't y'all just like talk a little bit,
Okay.
and then naturally, like as if you're talking about the pager, then you take it out, rather than like looking at the. All right. So just
Okay.
like kind of chat and then take it out.
So we're testing this prototype pager with the new technology. This is what it looks like.
No messages.
Very simple.
That's good on that angle. Y'all continue. Sure. Yeah, just keep going. We're gonna be moving around and stuff.
I'll stop.
You can test it. Did it. Visual test. Also did audio test. There's no dispatches in it right now. They'll, till they set one off.
There are 0 unread messages.
That's the frequency it's operating at. That's a bunch of stuff I don't know.
Rolling? Yeah. It's the same thing, just like chatting about it, looking at it.
All right.
And the audio is not so much important, like we might not use it, so you can literally be saying like, I had fried eggs for breakfast, like,
Gotcha.
so just like,
All right.
just y'all can relax and chat about it.
So that's the visual test. That's the audio
Testing 1, 2,
test.
3.
Back to the menu.
No messages.
It's
Is it text and audio?
yes. And eventually it'll be data also. They have a lot more bandwidth than what we're used to. There should be a stream coming to it from Pitt County and Orange County. I don't know if that'll show up in there or not. It's maybe.
Station 42 fire, response to 130 and C102 West, located in the area of food lines for a car fire. First traffic is going on.
Cool. You're good there, boss? Cool. Good. Rolling.
Sound file nets.
Messages. Visual test. The audio
Testing 1,
test.
2, 3.
It's the red light.
I have no idea.
Gotcha.
If you do the visual test, it'll change to blue. That's the back button. There you go.
4201, Route 130 and C102 West. And the food line parking lot for a car fire. First traffic is ready.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Stand by. There we go.
Sound file, suit up.
Action. Okay, perfect.
Is my backpack in the shot?
No. Rolling on it?
So the volunteers are here, so that way we can involve them as well in
Yeah,
a particular
that's fine.
shot, if you don't mind.
Yeah. What do you want her to do?
That was awesome.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, so whatever would be natural, whether it's loading or
Good.
unloading, like maybe we could do another round, and that way the volunteer firefighters are also involved. That'd be
Rolling, stand by. Action. Camera roll, stand by.
Suit up, take 4.
Action.
Action. Suit up, take 5.
Perfect. Thank you.
Are you rolling? Suit up, take 6.
Rolling. Action.
Suit up, T7. Super bait.
You're not waiting for me, I hope. Do your thing.
Waiting for the next step.
Oh, yeah, good. You put it away if you want to.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you all so much. I think,
Yeah, that
I
was
think that's
great.
a good amount of coverage of that. Got a nice mow that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we can cut it. Thank you all so much. That's a good action. Like our first video was really good. So I think we can just capture some atmosphere for like 15 minutes or so. And just call it after. That's all. right, great. Well, yeah, thanks so much for taking the time to listen to your space and talk with us today. Could I ask you just to start by introducing yourself, tell us your name and your official title here?
I'm Jimmy Hodges. I'm the 911 director for Pitt County 911.
And would you mind spelling your name for us just so we have it?
JIMMYHODGES.
Yeah, and so have you had a chance to test out this new tech yet?
We were never provided with a prototype device, but we did have a web portal that we could log into that was provided by a fire chief in the central part of the state. And we did see our alerts from Pitt County go through that web portal.
And did you notice a difference between that and how the systems typically work?
Yes, so typically in Pitt County, our pages go over a UHF pager and it's all voice activated. When they talk, you hear their voice. This newer technology going through PBS network is text to speech. So they type in the call, it goes to that system, and then it's a text to speech interface on the prototype devices that a third party vendor provided.
And is there any way that you've noticed that is better or faster or more dependable?
I think in the future with as more people look at it, more people go to it, it can be efficient and evolve to become more quicker as far as dispatches and getting units on the road faster, yeah.
And why is it important in emergency to try to shave off those seconds?
Not all emergencies qualify for the term seconds matter, but surely there are calls that seconds do matter. Structure fires, cardiac arrest, strokes, things of that nature. But overall, anytime we can shave seconds off a call, it can help the outcome of a patient or property.
And have you had a chance to get a sense of whether or not this new tech will be more dependable than like the cellular and analog networks?
I don't know if it'd be more dependable, but I think it'll be much robust. It can be used as a statewide paging system, and not just Pitt County has their stuff, Edgecombe County has their stuff, Raleigh-Wake has their stuff. This could literally be used as a statewide system, and it could be true interoperability from the mountains all the way to the coast.
Yeah, great. Do you think improving this tech and getting folks there faster has the potential to help save more lives?
I think when it comes to any type of evolving technology in the 911, EMS, fire, law enforcement arena, I think it's always pushing to save those seconds and save those minutes to help save more lives, so yeah.
Okay, your phone's going in and out. Repeat the address.
Glenn, how is this working okay with a little background?
Earlier there was some walkie-talkie back and forth. That was a little loud. So
Yeah.
you want to
Alright, what's the phone
revisit
number
your
you're
first two
calling
questions. Yeah. After you finish these up. Most of this stuff is under him.
Mostly we're okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool.
Alright, that's okay. Tell me exactly
I'm
what
not sure what
happened.
I was asking. If there's a question I should repeat, but yeah,
just
don't worry about it. Yeah.
I'm gonna
Um,
use that right now.
Jimmy, do you mind if and you can like paraphrase and make it your own, and like tell me if you don't agree, in which case definitely don't say it. But do you mind if I feed you a line or two from what I was showing you to
I'm just
see if
gonna
you
ask a few
wouldn't mind
questions
just
while we get some help on
repeating
the line.
something along those lines?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you.
Is she breathing?
So the difference in time is really important because of how critical response time is in emergencies.
You talking about getting faster with the
Do you have
dispatches?
difficulty speaking between them?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I agree. But there's
Is she changing color?
the only part I don't agree with, not every emergency needs to be dispatched right now. We have systems in place to prioritize those calls. But like I said before, cardiac arrest, strokes, structure fires, active domestics, active break-ins, those are high priority calls. And those, yes, seconds do matter.
Maybe would you mind saying something along the lines of like, in a lot of kinds of emergencies, every second really counts. Or,
Yeah, in a lot of different kinds of emergencies, seconds really do matter, seconds do count.
and what's the consequence if you get there 15 seconds later in a worst case scenario?
In some emergencies, 15 seconds could be the matter of not saving a house or saving someone's property, a patient not making a cardiac arrest event, not surviving, a stroke victim not surviving. Seconds can make a huge difference.
Yeah, I love what you just said. a difference of 15 seconds can mean X. Can you maybe just say that slightly shorter, that same idea?
In some emergencies, 15 seconds can make the difference of a patient not making it or a house burning to the ground.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you for that. And
One more time, got quiet.
oh yeah, would you mind repeating that idea one more time? That 15 seconds can make that,
We're just
that kind of
because we're
difference.
trying to
Yeah.
15 seconds can make the difference of a patient not making it or not surviving or a house burning to the ground.
And are you hoping that this new paging tech could help you save more time like that?
Yes, this technology could potentially save time and it could help agencies communicate better throughout the state.
Have you ever had a situation here where you're trying to get folks dispatched quickly, but it takes more time than you'd like, and you've had to deal with that consequence?
Human error, maybe, but besides the current technology, no.
And do you get satisfaction out of the, like when you know you've sent people out to help people? Is that a good feeling at the end of the day?
Speaking personally, yes. I have a passion for this line of work, a passion for this job. Most people in Polis have the passion for it, so yeah.
And sorry, I know I asked you in the question, but would you mind repeating that back? What that feeling is for you doing this kind of work?
Coming here working is a fulfillment because I know that the work we do here makes a difference on someone else's life eventually, somewhere along the line.
Yeah, absolutely. And why do you think it's important to try to make these kinds of advances with the paging tech the way that we're doing now?
Because everything in public safety is evolving, technology is always evolving, and if you don't keep up, you're going to get left behind. I mean, that's in every aspect of the world we live in today.
I'm not sure what we're catching and not catching with background sound and stuff.
We're done, we're good.
Or other questions coming to mind, or other things you want to phrase?
One thing that we were just talking about, because we were at the Winterville Fire Department earlier. How does it work? Someone's at home. Walk us through it. Someone's at home. Something goes wrong. What
So someone's at home, has an emergency. They take their phone, they call 911.
Yeah, and even if he's asking,
Yeah, I got you.
pretending that I asked you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
So the way a call comes in, someone's at their home, they're out in public, they're at a business, they have an emergency, they call 911. The phone call comes here, we're the PSAP, or the Public Safety Answering Point for the county. We get an address from the caller, we verify that address, and we get ancillary information such as phone number, what type of emergency. We process that fire medical call through EMD or EFD protocols. Those protocols assign a priority to the call, and we dispatch the call accordingly based off of different response plans laid out for those agencies and based off of the geography of where the call is located.
And how quickly, from the time you dispatch that information, does it get received by the appropriate agencies?
When we dispatch the call, it immediately sets off alert tones on the UHF paging devices for the fire and EMS agencies.
And all the information's there?
No, when we originally send the page out, all they get is a voice announcement of what we tell them. Now, we do currently have third-party apps that give an activation and a text alert of the call, the notes that we added to the record, cross streets, and directions on how to get to the call. But once again, that's a third-party service that agencies purchase on their own.
I'm just going to keep going for a second. And then with this new technology, is it fair to say that you can send that all in one stop, one full swoop, where they'll get all that sort of ancillary information?
Yeah, so with this new paging technology going over PBS network, it does seem like the information that we send can be packaged all together at once and sent with the voice announcement, with all that ancillary information all at one time immediately.
Cool. That seems to us, like from the outside, not knowing so much about the tech, but just from what we hear like that's what would be helpful for departments. That's our understanding. Maybe that's not right.
Yeah, so like any notes that we take on the call, all the medical or the fire information we gather about the call, like I said, the cross streets, the address, the phone number, any type of information the telecommunicator gathered during that call will be all packaged up and sent out when we dispatch the call or when it's ready to be dispatched.
Cool. Thanks. Yeah.
We good?
Yeah. Was that all the bytes that we were talking about? We're doing?
I mean, yeah, just about how the, you know,
Oh, I got
time
it.
is really critical in emergencies, and
Still rolling.
Yeah. There was something else you said on the call about operators like in the mountains can tap into your network somehow with this technology and be able to like send information. You don't have to be based here.
Yeah, so it's a statewide paging network because it's using PBS broadcast signal. So it can be set up to where it's for a crew of people on a fire engine, an ambulance. It could be set up for a county. It could be set up for a region, or it could be set up to be alerted for calls throughout the state.
Pretty cool. What was that example you gave us about like if this place is down, you can then route all calls through another location or something like that, right?
So currently through our phone system, EZNet, we can route our calls from here to the mountains, and I can send telecommunicators from here to Asheville, but unfortunately right now we don't have a way of notifying responders back home of calls. With this paging technology, we would have that capability.
yeah, that's great. So, really, people fielding calls for emergencies anywhere in the state could be located anywhere in the state. Yeah.
And then get the signal back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So not just fielding it anywhere, but then dispatching it.
Mhm.
Right? Interesting. Cool.
So what is the purpose of that? If they're having a problem in the mountains with their call center, you could take over temporarily? Is that-
Temporarily, you can route calls from any PSAP in the state to another PSAP in the state or 911 center, and you could dispatch depending on how that software and those devices are set up. I can send calls from here to the mountains, from Person County down to Wilmington. I mean, it's a statewide network. That's why it's so robust, and this is why I consider it cutting edge.
So let's sit on that for a second because I think it's a good question. My understanding is that like in the current system, you can receive a call anywhere, but if you're dealing with like essentially like like a radio, you can only broadcast that so far to the local dispatch. But with this, you can use our airwaves, which are statewide, to dispatch back. So it's the ping back that is really interesting.
And this technology is not two-way communication, so it's just an alerting, system basically as of right now. But it's still, I can send telecommunications from Pitt County to Asheville. We receive calls from Pitt County residents to Asheville, and I can still alert responders of calls back here in Pitt County. That makes sense?
Yeah, because the range typically with the current system is what, 20 miles? Like,
I don't know. From what the guys were telling us that did your prototype devices, the
old
the Farmville Tower has got a huge footprint.
yeah, but the old range, like the old system.
Well, current radio systems, I mean, you get anywhere between, you can get 20 miles. You might be able to get 50 miles. It depends on the system.
But the new one's huge.
Mhm.
That's what we have, and then all the towers top.
Yeah. So thank you. Yeah, that's a great difference to note. So would you mind just explaining that again? That with this new system, the range that you'll be able to cover has grown so much.
Yeah, so it's using PBS, your current broadcasting tower, so it can literally go from one side of the state to the other, from the Virginia line down to South Carolina. I mean, it's really robust, and it's digital, so it's more robust and more dependable than analog systems.
Less prone to interference? Is it?
And that's what you have currently.
Our paging system is an analog system. Our radio system is a digital trunk system.
And so this will ultimately be an update for both.
I don't know if it'll ever be a replacement, but it can definitely be a supplemental use. And it'd be another tool in the tool bag for PSAPs all across the state. Be a huge tool in the tool bag.
Would it impact any of these operators and their current workflow? It's all the same. Just hit a
All,
stroke.
all the workflow for telecommunicators is exactly the same. Everything that happens with this new technology is built into the background of CAD systems, and basically the telecommunicator doesn't know anything different. They drop the call, they dispatch the call, and the alerting is built into the background.
Cool. Last question is, most people don't think of PBS as offering these kind of services. What did you think when you heard that first? That like, oh, we could piggyback on this.
When we first met in Winterville about using PBS television broadcast as a paging system, I really had to stop and pay attention to what people were telling me because I did not understand how that could work. But once the technicalities were explained, it was very impressive on how the bandwidth that's not currently being used is now being used to carry data across state for emergency response. So it's really impressive.
Yeah, great. That was a good question.
Cool. We had Sam Jones barbecue for lunch.
Yeah, I figured that's where they take you.
That was good.
That's the go-to spot to take visitors.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
We were good?
I think so.
Yeah, great. Record the sound of the room.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Room tone.
And Glenn asked us, was there anything else that you wanted us to ask before we wrapped up?
No, but I was going to bring you to my office and see if I can pull up that website that they're using as a beta to send the alerts. I don't know if I can pull it up or not, but I'm going to try to. And you can get a screenshot of that.
Awesome. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Great, thanks.
Anytime.
Hey, County 911, what's the location of your emergency?
That was wrong.
That was weird for me.
Don't want to do another take?
Yes, please.
All right.
Tell me,
Oh, you're good.
how close can we get? Can I do that?
Bob, what screen? You want her looking at more towards the camera?
Towards the right, yeah.
Yeah,
The right
that's
screen
right.
when you answer yes, please.
Oh, that's weird.
I know.
You ready?
Showbiz.
I'm like used to looking over here.
Yes.
All right, sending it.
Hey, County 911, what's the location of your emergency?
Thank you, Joel.
Thank you.
All right, so just go ahead and also kind of face that
Okay.
direction and answer. You can answer the call.
You just want me to, you want me to say it out loud?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Anytime.
Well, that's real.
Do it again and look to your right.
Hold on for the
The screen. I know you don't, but yeah.
Then she got a real call.
Oh, sorry.
Hello?
Actually, it's gonna be the Greenville Police.
911.
Just a second.
Hold on a second. Call him back. Okay. Let me do it again.
Yes,
Look
please.
this way.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Just say 911, what's your emergency, and do your thing.
All right, for verification, can you repeat the
Hey,
address
County
again, please?
911, what's the location of your emergency?
For verification, can you repeat the address again, please?
Awesome. Thank
We'll
you.
get.
Unless you're familiar with, like, if you see something on the highway.
Give me one more. Go.
Just call 47.
All right, so she might have another stroke, that's what you're saying?
Get right to the no patrol as if calling 911.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, I feel like I call 911 a lot.
Depends on where you are. City limits of Greenville.
58-year-old female possible stroke.
I mean, some people don't know to contact Greenville Police. You know. Or if you're in Winterville, it's gonna be the sheriff's office and which, depending on,
Ask her to say the early
that may
bird
be a bad
catches the worm.
just depends on how big it is.
I called not long ago. I was like driving down through town, and some guy was like drunk or whatever, or drugged, was like falling over on the bus stop. I'm like, dude, you should injure yourself. So I called.
Yeah, we have people call some hit and runs where somebody's hit their car and that person is like chasing them. They're like, I'm Hello, 911.
EMS 1 respond at 912 Douglas Avenue, cross streets of Vance Street and Roosevelt Avenue.
911.
58-year-old
Can I
female
help
possible
you?
stroke. Emergency traffic 1402. He was Foreign Service.
We call a watchdog.
Repeat that address to make sure I have it right.
Are there more or less calls if
So we got worry about it all.
And your phone number.
What kind of calls?
Tell me exactly what happened.
Noise complaints.
I mean, students or like people that come for games?
Everybody.
Now, luckily, we haven't had an incident like no, I was talking about Tennessee, Tennessee, Alabama, they stormed the field.
Oh my
They
God.
tore the goalpost down.
A cousin of mine, or I don't know, one of my cousins.
Is she awake?
Kid.
Is anyone hurt?
Okay, is she breathing?
Yeah, walk up and do it. And go.
What about that Jake Gyllenhaal movie that he plays in 911?
EMS 2 responds at 1009 Quarter Path Drive,
Good.
crossroads from
Okay.
Newcastle Drive and Lincoln
Thank
Drive,
you.
88
I'm just gonna shoot it by itself.
Falls, routine traffic. County Direct, EMS 10, auto service 1408.
David's gonna hate.
Jim, when you were showing me in your office, is it possible just to get a screen?
Here, I was pointing at this car, and you see this car right here, right? And Dad's looking so here, and this is right, and this is transport, this is here, that's your big fancy map right there.
Can we point to that first screen again, please? Go. Go. Now take your pen away. Sorry. And go. Did you with your pen? Yeah.
You know what's called when sentiment and a random meet each other?
Oh, okay.
All right.
Talking about stupid stuff.
Why are you over
And
here
you-
telling dad jokes?
Yeah, that's exactly, yeah.
Season's greetings, right?
Yeah, season greetings, you gotta remember that.
And can also, what's your name, sorry?
Michaela.
Michaela, can you also point to the screen when you're asking him a
You got
question
a
about
PBS
something?
3?
Sure.
Stand by. And action.
Joe, EMS 3, Robin at the hospital.
Let's do it again. Hey, Jimmy, just come on up to that crack in the thing right there. There you go.
The crack.
Ready? Action.
I'm gonna point at you, you come, and you're gonna ask a question, yep.
The formal call right there. Yes, that one.
Season
Yes.
greetings.
Season's greetings.
Lovely.
Perfect. Thank you
so
guys
much.
for doing that.
Yep.
I know that.
Now, when y'all leave, if y'all going back to Raleigh, Durham, you're gonna jump on 587, and you're gonna be heading out of town. When they cross the Pitt-Greene County line, isn't it, it's pretty crazy.
This ER here stays busy all the time.
Really?
They keep
5, 6, 7 hour waits sometimes.
Longer than that.
Sometimes longer than that.
I still think the hospital should put a digital billboard somewhere in Greenville.
They were talking about in and out, hour and a half.
Wow.
Mercy.
Appreciate it.
I'm gonna ask you a few more questions while we get some help on the way. When did this start?
DH County's done testing.
And does she know what caused her back pain? To help her stay on the line, and I'll tell you exactly what to do next. Just reassure her that help is on the way. From now on, do not let her have anything to eat or drink. It might make her sick or cause further problems. Just let her rest in the most comfortable position and wait for help to arrive. I want you to keep watch. Responders arrive. Please make sure to put away any pets. Gather her medications if she's been taking any. Have your door unlocked. And if she gets worse in any way before they get there, you give us a call back for further instructions. But they're on the way.
So, I invited
Got the t-shirt.
Yep. Except gone to the moon. He hasn't gone to the moon yet.
I work with Moon Dust, though.
if you ever get a chance to go into any of the non interstate, Raleigh, Wake, Durham, and Greenville.
Yeah. What about?
It's impressive.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Action. one more.
Just 10,000 left.
Your trailer's ready, but we're ready to do this first. Action.
Ready for 60 minutes.
Got it.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it.
Hey, no problem.
Yeah.
I'll get a screenshot of that website and I'll send it over to you.
Thank you so much.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Well, in addition. So, yeah, it's national. There's what, 200 stations, I think, in the country?
Wow. Well, we all represent, we're all.
Is that a SIM card? He's out with the EMS stores.
As you probably are.
Saying a lot of fun. Okay, fine, you're right. It's the worst logo ever. Oh, there's a hawk just landed up there.
Yeah. I mean, this is the tower that.
Get that? Is that a hawk?
Yeah. Right, but yes. Yeah.
Oh, there's two birds up there.
That's up here.
You want the tower or not?